Hello students. In today's class for school organization and management, we would be taking up the third point of Unit 1, educational administration and their advantages or functions and disadvantages. Functions and advantages of educational administration. What are the functions of educational administration? The answer to this question is given in a variety of ways. Some consider that administration is to bring into cooperative and fruitful relationships of the various components of the educational program. Luther Gulick answered the question by saying, it's a mnemonic device made up of 7 activities which are identified as comprising of administration. The activities mentioned by Luther include planning, organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating, reporting, and budgeting. One of the most important functions of educational administration is to define the purpose of education. What and why are the students being educated? It includes framing policies, laying down the structure of the organization. That means it makes the administration to get ready, to decide or to act upon what is expected out of it. It is an intellectual activity which is performed on the basis of facts, ideas, and principles. Because of its importance for future, which takes into consideration the past and the present. So, the administrator has to function, has to decide what is required to be done. It prescribes the power and the authority of positions of an organization. The arrangement, the interrelationships, and the order of people, material, procedures, knowledge, and how the work is to be done. The educational administration has to function to achieve all of them. I repeat, interrelationships and the order of people, material, procedures, knowledge, and the work to be done. It provides finances and other resources. Budgeting is one of the most important parts that is required to be done. The income, the expenditure, and the auditing. It plans and operates an effective education program. That means harmonizing the unified program that involves all the elements. It is best performed when all the stakeholders work together, they're taken together, and all of them work towards a common goal, that is the effective education program that is being imparted. It provides the personnel necessary to run the enterprise smoothly and effectively. People are required at different stages, different types of people are required. There's teaching, there's non-teaching, there's support staff. All of them are provided through the administration. It provides good program leadership. Program leadership is most important for the success of the program. The program becomes successful depending upon what leadership it has. It stimulates energies of the workers' efforts and maintains their continuous development. There's continuous encouragement. There are continuous programs for their development, and that stimulates them and makes them work to the best of their abilities. It evaluates the total outcome in relation to the established policies, aims, and norms. Learning outcomes are defined. What is the outcome in the broader sense is also defined, and then it is being evaluated. Assessment also becomes an important part of it. It integrates all forces acting in the field of education. Everyone working in education works for a common goal. All of them are being integrated together. Educational administration has some disadvantages as well. One of them is political interference. With education becoming more and more premium, school education, there's a lot of political interference at different levels. It could be for admissions, it could be for the functioning of the school. This political interference acts as one of the disadvantages in educational administration. Distances between the administrator and the teachers. At times, the administrators tend to remain aloof. They do not interact with the teachers. So being this distance acts as a negative factor and it impacts negatively. The working gets affected. Not consistent with social change. There's certain policies, there's certain ways, there's certain techniques that are being followed, and they have been followed since years. Social change, the present day requirement are not taken into account. So it's another disadvantage of educational administration that it is not consistent with social change. Works one way. Communication is one way. Instructions passed on are one way. That means it's from the administrator to the teachers. At times, the teachers are not being given the freedom to speak. At times, the teachers prefer to remain quiet and wait for the instructions, and then they work accordingly. So it works just one way. Does not involve teachers in policy making. This is one big disadvantage because the teachers are the ones who know the best what is required. The teachers are the ones who know the best what is the level of their students. The teachers are the ones who know the best that what is required, efforts are required in which direction and to what extent. So if they are not being involved in policy making, in decision making, if they're not a part of it, it will have a negative impact on the school. Faulty decisions and indecisions seem to be making administration poor and tardy. At times, it could be just one person taking a decision, or it could be a group of people taking decisions. If that decision is faulty, it's going to affect the school, the functioning of the school. And indecisions. Many a times, decisions are not being reached onto, and the matter is not solved or sorted out. So this also leads to a negative impact. Administration needs to be examined periodically and then reformed. Whatever changes are required, whatever additions are to be made, whatever deletions are to be made, it should be done to keep it updated and as per the requirement, as per the latest requirements. One of the disadvantages is it is not dynamic. It tends to become static at a particular point and then there's no more development. There are no more changes beyond that. So it's not dynamic. Research in educational administration is rarely conducted. If there's research conducted, if there's updation, if people know what are the conclusions drawn, where do we need to improve, that would bring about improvement. Freedom of expression and experimentation is not encouraged. Set pattern is given, set of instructions are given, clear instructions, and they are expected to be followed. Teachers, teaching, non-teaching staff, the librarian, for example, or the sports teacher at times may not be given the freedom that is expected, the freedom for expression and the freedom for experimentation. If it is not there, it will negatively impact. It becomes a disadvantage for educational administration. At times, educational administrators lack expertise in the field of education. At times, the educational administrator appointed may not be from the field of education. So he or she may not be knowing the gnosis that are required for education, may not be knowing the details of education. So that impacts negatively. At times, educational matters are ignored. That means the focus shifts. Educational matters that need to be given prime importance are not being given importance. So that also negatively impacts the educational administrator. The working of the educational administrator gets impacted that way. These were some of the disadvantages of educational administration. Thank you.